Um, yes, that is a big paradox and a big problem in education, where you don't know what you will need in the future. You don't know which information will be useful and practical in the future. Tests tests do not measure success. Tests do not measure success.
Mm-hmm.
Tests do not measure intelligence, and tests do not measure happiness, all of which are very important.
Yeah.
So they don't measure your ability to solve problems. They don't measure how helpful you are. They don't measure your creativity. There's a lot of things that tests
Mm-hmm.
don't measure, and this is a big problem. The question is, should students study more or should students study less?
Mm-hmm.
Because the age, up to the age of basically there are 3 stages of learning: 0 to 5, 5 to 8, and 8 to 12. Between the ages of 12 and 18, students don't really learn a lot of information, new information. They don't learn a lot of new information. Most of what they learn before the teenage years, before the age of 13. They learn most of everything. So there are a lot of problems with the fact that between the age of 13 and the age of maybe 23, 24, 25, there's a 10-year period where students don't really study productively and they don't really learn a lot. And it's lost time, it's wasted time. And so there are a lot of problems with this. One of the biggest problems is work and employment. Students have no power because they don't have any money. They don't have any money because they can't work, and they can't change anything because they can't vote. They have no voice. They can't change anything.
Yeah.
And these are big problems for young people. And so they have no power to do anything, and they have no power to change anything. And this is a big problem. The biggest problem is, for governments, there is no work. There's no work for young people. If all the young people go to work, there'll be no work for the older people. So the problem is there's not enough jobs in society. That's why in the past, young people finished education at the age of 13 and they started to work. Now most young people don't have their first full-time job until they are 23, 24, 25 years old.
Yes.
Because there are no jobs for these people. There's no jobs, there's no work, and the government has laws and rules that says you can't work. So it's lost productivity, it's lost creativity, it's lost time. And one solution, one way to solve this is to allow povolit, is to allow young people to work.
Mm-hmm.
If young
Mm-hmm.
people want jobs, they can have jobs. Just allow it. Just say, when from the age of 13, you can work. If you want to work, you can work. And a lot of people will work because work is money and money is power. Yeah, when you go to school, you don't have any power. You can't do anything. You have no money to change anything. You can't buy anything. Everything you get comes from your parents, and you have no power. Your parents have all the power. So if you let young people work, then they will work, I think, they will work hard, and it will move the economy forward. But a lot of people don't like this idea. Because in my opinion, a lot of people are stupid, because they don't know what is good. They don't understand economics. They don't understand the economic system. Like a 15-year-old, in general, a 15-year-old works harder than a 25-year-old. In general, young people have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
People who are 15 work harder, they work more than people who are 25, because young people have more energy for the work. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the information, they don't have the experience, but they have the energy to work. So these ideas can be very positive for economies. I mean, look at the history of invention and creation. Take famous examples like Benjamin Franklin, right? Benjamin Franklin had his first business at the age of 12 years old. He was running his own business. He was a manager of his own business at the age of 12. Right? So, and there are many examples. Admiral Farragut, the first admiral in the United States Army, was captain of his own ship at the age of 12. And he was selected to be captain. People wanted him to be captain because he was the most qualified, most experienced, and best person for the job. At the age of 12. Right? So, at 12 years old today, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. You have no power. At 12 years old, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. You have no power. You have no power to change anything, you have no power to do anything. Nobody listens to people who are 12 years old, right? So they are sent to school where they have to follow rules by other people. So there are many examples in history. Abraham Lincoln was living, I think at the age of 12, he was living on his own.
On 12?
At 12, yeah, he was living by himself at the age of 12. Yeah. And he was him and his younger sister, and he had to take care of his younger sister because his mother died and his father left. So he was alone at home. So there are, and these are the great people of history. And they all had a lot of different experiences when they were young, and they all had a lot of responsibility. The more responsibility, zodpovednost, the more responsibility you give to children, the faster they grow up. The more they learn, the faster they grow, the more responsibility they have. So, because you need responsibility, because if you are not responsible in the real world, people die. And that is a very serious thing. Yeah, and if people don't have food, they die. If people don't have a place to live, they die. If everything is not safe and secure and organized, people die. So it's a very serious thing to understand, the nature of responsibility. And so there are so many problems that exist, that that don't need to exist if we allow young people a little bit more freedom, and we trust them, and we guide them, and we mentor them, and we coach them, and we support them. And in school, there is only a little bit of mentoring, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of responsibility, and a little bit of support. There's only a little bit. It's not it's not enough. And one of the reasons for this is the quality of teaching. The quality of teaching, because teachers are not leaders a lot of the time. Teachers are not leaders. Science teachers are not scientists.
Understand.
Physics teachers are not physicists. English teachers are not writers. History teachers are not historians. Art teachers, well, it's a little bit, probably not great artists, right? So if you don't have great people, you don't have great teachers. And if you don't have great teachers, you can't really inspire or help young people. It's crazy, but here's one more example, right? One more example.
Yes.
Boys need alpha model examples. Boys need alpha examples.
Yeah.
Strong men who are leaders, right? Boys need this. Boys need strong men who are leaders as positive examples. Now, and these are alpha male people. Boys need this.
Yes.
Question: How many alpha males are teachers in school? Answer:
0.
0. Exactly. The answer is 0, because alpha males don't become teachers. Because the job teacher is not an alpha male job, because you work in the school government system. That is not a job for alphas. That's a job for betas. Because betas follow the rules, they follow the instructions, and they do that job well. But alphas don't. Alphas are independent. Alphas are leaders. Alphas make their own rules for how things are done. So there are no alphas in teaching, because it's not interesting for alpha characters. So boys don't have any alpha examples in education. Yeah, young people need examples. They need models. That they can follow. They need role models. And what drives the economy is business. Business drives the economy forward. And so business leaders, people who start their own companies, people who develop their own ideas are good examples, but these people are not in schools. These people are outside in the real world, working hard every day in their companies. They're traveling a lot, they're meeting a lot of people, and they're usually very busy, and they don't have a lot of connection and a lot of contact with schools. And schools don't connect with these people, because the school world and the real world are different places. They don't mix together very well, because they are different philosophies. They are different ideas. They are different directions. school does not teach a lot about business in general. In general, school doesn't teach a lot about business because it's a very old model. It's a very old system. Let's take an example of how this works. Okay, so let's think about pop stars. Okay, think about pop stars, people who write pop music or rock music or any kinds of modern musicians. How many of them? And there's, hundreds of thousands of examples. Okay, think about, you can think about Slovakia, think about IMT Smile or Adam Gurica or No Name or I don't know what, whatever group in Slovakia. Or you can look at it worldwide and you can say, I don't know, Metallica, Bon Jovi, U2, whoever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, think about this. Now, these people are very good at their art, they're very skillful, they're very creative, they're very successful. How many of them learnt their skills in school? Yeah, it's a very clear example of that. You look at the business leaders, look at Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. None of them, zero of them learned the important skills in school.
Yes.
They didn't learn those skills in school. Look at let's see who else. Like Formula One drivers. How many of them learned that skill in school? It's not even a subject in school. I mean, they learned it from somewhere else. Look at people who design and make computer games. A big industry.
Yes.
Computer games make. It can make $10 million a year on one computer game, right? Big industry. It's not even a subject in schools, right? It's not even a subject.
Yes.